Welcome to Spider-Verse Minute, the tri-weekly podcast where we watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 1 minute at a time. I'm Caroline Slater.
And I'm her brother Sean.
And today we are discussing Minute 98. It begins with Kingpin's family glitching in the subway, and ends a minute later with Miles dodging a taxi thrown at him.
What did you title this minute?
History repeating.
Yeah, I love the parallels that they did between this scene and and Kingpin's flashback scene, with both Spider people held up against the wall and his family standing there watching and then saying like, okay, we got to get out. Like, what are we doing here? We need to leave.
Yeah. It's such a good moment, and it is a sort of heartbreaking moment as well.
I'm really mad at the filmmakers at this point because they're somehow humanizing Kingpin. And like before, yeah, he was the villain and like, okay, they kind of humanized him a little bit, but just the way he like cries out to Vanessa and is like, it's me, you know me. And I'm just like, you're making me feel for Kingpin. I'm not supposed to feel for Kingpin. He's evil.
I really do think they do a great job of humanizing him, but you're still also, like, not rooting for him at all. Like, it's like, no. But dang it, you made me feel for the guy.
Yeah, now I just feel bad for him. He's like a wet puppy. And I'm just like, ugh, it's a wet puppy I want to hate.
He's so desperate.
Yeah.
I love how the desperation, because it's like, it goes so quickly from, he's so desperate, it's sad, to scary, angry. It's like, oh, he's so desperate and he's ready to kill a child.
Yeah, and a lot of other people too.
And so many others. It's like, oh, he's scary now. He's scary desperate now.
I do like how they reversed the trope of like getting distracted during the fight and actually had the villain get distracted this time.
Yeah.
And had him like drop Miles and let Miles go instead of like, you know, the inverse where the hero's about to win and then they get distracted because of the kitten on the side of the road or something.
Yeah.
And they got to go help them that way.
Yeah. No, I really like it. I also love, before all of the heartbreak, when Miles is up against the window, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
Two things. One, I love how he says, is this really how you want it to go? Or whatever the line is.
Is this what you want, man?
Yeah, is this what you want, man? But I love how behind it, you can see the multiverse.
Yeah.
Like, I never noticed that before. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. The one thing that I do have to say that, going back to the similarities, is I love how when he chases after them, he can't fit through the subway door.
Yeah.
Not even, he can't even, like, try to. Like, he just can't fit at all.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, like, his head barely fits through.
Yeah, like, his head just fits.
Yeah, and then it pulls back, and like, to that multiverse point, it, like, pulls back, and, like, I'm guessing this is when, this is, like, a shot from inside of the vortex, and inside that vortex is just the multiverse. And I like how they had the train almost feel like it's swimming through it. Like it's got a very like, I guess, eel-like movement, or like, I was going to say snake under the water, which I guess is just an eel.
That would be an eel.
But
snake under the water. That's an eel.
Yeah. I mean, there are aquatic snakes, but
well, that's true. They don't really go under the water, though. They tend to more skim on top, don't they?
There are some that swim under the water.
Oh, okay.
Hold their breath and swim under the water. But beside the point, I just like the way, like, it kind of felt like that, where that, and even like a bit like a dolphin or a fish just like breaching the water in the very beginning, or when it first entered the vortex, where it's just like bouncing along the top and then it dives in here and we get the really cool, like you said, shot of the multiverse here.
It has, the subway has a weird, almost organic movement to it.
Yeah.
Which is strange because it's a subway, but it works so well.
Yeah, they do a good job of and like they kind of had that organic feel too before with the what are they called? Buildings were first coming out of the vortex.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
maybe less organic, more natural feel, because like then it felt a lot like waves, and here it's kind of like something, skipping on
Alive.
top of water surface, with waves. To move on, I like how Spider-Man just like punches through the roof of the subway
Oh my
car.
gosh, I love that.
It's just like
Not here.
yeah, it reminded me a bit of what's the like, here's Johnny.
Oh, The Shining.
Yeah, The Shining, when he punches through or goes through the door, and you just see his face, and it's just like that, just like
here's Johnny.
like,
yeah,
surprise, it's me.
I do like that.
Or like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah.
I guess that's Kingpin's more like the Kool-Aid Man coming out the side
Kingpin
of that.
is definitely more Kool-Aid Man in this set.
Yeah.
I do love the fight after Kingpin Kool-Aid Man's himself back to Miles. Two things. I love how the fight's going on, and we get a cut away from it, and it cuts to Jeff showing up.
Yeah.
Which, two things there. One, how did he get down here?
He climbed.
Were the elevators still working? And two, when Miles sees him, the only part of the building that seems to be left is the room Jeff is in.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just hard to see because there's too many colors, or is it just floating there?
I think it's like a more hard to see, like just the that part sort of poking through into the multiverse bits, and like I bet if you were to kind of like walk along the top and just keep walking, you would hit the wall. Like you would kind of go through a little bubble thing and then hit the wall or something.
Oh, maybe.
But inside this, it's almost like a little pocket dimension where it's bigger on the inside than it is the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going through a bunch of different dimensions and fighting through them all.
Okay. I guess that makes sense, yeah. I just think it's funny because look over and it's like, there's the observatory room, and that is all.
Perfectly framed.
Just that.
Yeah. It was like, I think they did a good job, or like it's not completely out of the blue because they did show it previously in the movie sticking out. And like, that was kind of nice to be like, okay, it makes sense that, maybe it's just the walls are all bubbly and, this part sticks out from the walls. So that makes sense.
Definitely makes sense. Like, I'm not like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm just curious, like, is the building still there, or is that thing just floating right now?
Yeah.
I love when Miles, like, after he sees his dad, kind of gets a little bit back into fighting mode, grabs a taxi and swings it at Kingpin, and Kingpin just catches it.
Yeah.
Like, all casual.
And then throws it back at him.
Throws it right back, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right before that, to jump back real quick, the like two lines spoken, I guess two of the three lines spoken in this minute. Now, there's a couple more, but when like Miles snaps back to Kingpin saying, "I'm stopping this right now," like that is such a like. I don't like that line because it feels like a bad line, kind of. Like I don't know. It doesn't feel like quippy like we're used to hearing heroes snap back and everything.
I think that's why I kind of like it.
Yeah, and like every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh, come on, like say something cooler, Miles. Like that's what it is. It's not a cool line to say back, but Miles is also 14 years old and probably doesn't have a whole lot of practice. And I just it's kind of an awkward line, and I think the more I sit on it, the more I think it fits.
I think the reason it kind of works and what makes it, I don't think quippier is the right word, but makes it fit more with Miles is like right beforehand, Kingpin says, "You're not stopping this," or something like that. And Miles responds, "I am stopping this." And I'm like, that's such a defiant teenager thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of why I like it. He's like, "No, I am doing it. You're not my dad."
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason I like that line so much, because it does feel very in character for him.
Yeah. But then to jump back to them, after Miles dodges it, like, he does that cool little loop-de-loop around the train.
Yeah.
Which I really like right as the minute ends. But I think the coolest move, though, in this minute is when Kingpin just grabs Miles and just headbutts him. Like, it's such a just like, actually, no, I take that back. I know what the coolest move is, but that is one of the, like, the coolest thing Kingpin does.
It's so simple.
But the coolest move that I can't believe we almost missed was the splash screen that happens when Miles kicks Kingpin, and we just get that beautiful crack in the splash screen that happens because of that into, again, like, one of my favorite art styles.
I know I say it a lot. I feel like it's a joke now almost. But like, the animators just do such a great job with handling not just this style, but incorporating other styles as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have anything else?
No, that's all I had for this minute. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. Join us for minute 99 on Friday to see how more of this fight plays out.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.